From Hollywood, California, this is SMPTE 2016 Live, produced by Broadcast Beat.
Hello and welcome to SMPTE 2016 Live. I'm your host, Ryan Salazar, with continuing coverage of the 2016 Annual Technical Conference and Exhibition at the Loews Hollywood Hotel in Los Angeles, California. Today we have a very special guest, Luann Linnebur, Director of Business Development of the Americas at Nevion. How are you?
I'm fine. It's been a great show.
It's great to have you, Luann.
Thank you.
So Nevion just celebrated 20 years of innovation, and I'm wondering how you're seeing this next wave of innovation impacting the industry.
Well, it's been fascinating to watch just in the last 10 years, the speed with which we've moved from purpose-built hardware to modular, scalable, and now, of course, at the show, everybody's talking about virtualization, production in the cloud, production and so forth. So we're very excited to see this trend toward making it easier to do what you need to do and dynamically switching out technologies and capabilities without having to forklift hardware. So I think for us, it's been an interesting view to see the transition from MPEG-2, MPEG-4, HEVC, 4K, 8K, and so on. Now, we see that it could be a little discomforting or maybe even fearful for broadcast engineers and IT people to embrace this new, brave new software-defined network IP world. So we see that the only way the industry is going to be able to smoothly transition from a baseband to an IP world is if they have the tools that are familiar with them, and they can have a learning curve that doesn't keep them from having trust in what's going to happen live on the air, because we're very focused on the contribution side of the business and how you manage live streams in a live mission critical, usually high bandwidth, high bit rate, mission critical, high value content scenario. So we have to build interfaces and solutions that users can trust when they're live to air like that, when they have rights, millions of dollars of rights on the line, or you just can't afford to have a hit or a pop in your feed. So that's the trust and belief is what the industry is going to have in using IP technology, software-defined networks, cloud solutions, virtualized equipment. So
all right, so as far as SMPTE standards go, what role do they play for Nevion, and how important are they to you?
Absolutely essential. One of the things we've always been standards-based, we've always been very active in all the interoperability work, going all the way back to MPEG-2 compression interoperability, J2K compression interop, now with the interop here at the show, PTP timing, registration discovery. It's absolutely essential that we figure out a way to reliably talk to one another. There have been groups that get together, and we loosely call them frenemies, because we have to work from everything from the camera all the way through every stage of production and transmission. So we pride ourselves on being able to talk to all those devices and manage and troubleshoot devices using our video iPath overlay to assure that we're all talking together. And that doesn't happen without standards. And SMPTE's been great. The speed with which we're working towards SMPTE 2110, it's really exciting to me, because it usually takes years and years, and I think we're pushing through some interesting things even for next year.
All right, so how about timing as far as that goes?
I think there will be a reluctance for people to completely jump in the next few months, but I think there's a transition where people can safely start now and know that as these standards solidify, like 2110 and some of the other work that AIMS and AMWA, VSF, as well as SMPTE and others are perfecting, that we're all tracking along the same line. So I think there's a show called VidTrans that Video Services Forum has in the early part of 2017, and then by NAB next year, I think SMPTE will have a great demo. And I think one of the requirements is that we show up with equipment that's much closer to GA and deployable, and not still developing. Of course, we won't be all the way probably with SMPTE 2110-30, 40, 50, and so on, but 10 and 20 should be ready for demo by NAB.
Okay, so how can users assure that they stay in sync with all this innovation?
Well, I think there are folks like us who spend every week on these telephone calls and all these meetings and all these interop testing to assure that we stay in sync on that. So they can look to us for information, other members of SMPTE. They can join in on these groups. We now have usually around 30 people on a call every week on the SMPTE work.
Wow.
And that's remarkable. And so we really think people need to pay attention, but they also need not to be afraid to start flying with some of the early developments that have already happened.
Okay, so what will we see from Nevion at the show this year at SMPTE 2016?
So Virtuoso is a new platform that we've just introduced. We introduced it at IBC, and it's being fleshed out day by day with new capabilities. And the whole idea there is taking what used to be multiple boxes that set on a telco rack or set in a broadcast facility or set at a processing production or studio facility, and allowing us to have a device that allows you to plug in cards or SFPs, depending on where you are in the evolution from baseband to IP. So that the overlay, the video iPath control and monitoring and probe solution that a lot of our customers are using for managing disparate equipment is on show. And then that allows you to use your existing baseband equipment or something like a Virtuoso platform to start to change out from cards to SFPs as you need to get over that fear of transition. So you can start small, keep transitioning. So please come and see Virtuoso and Video iPath, which is our management, monitoring, and troubleshooting tool that a number of the people this morning have been talking about in panels that is absolutely essential if you're really going to trust a software-defined network for live television.
All right, again from the 2016 Annual Technical Conference and Exhibition, SMPTE 2016 is such an amazing event, and Luann Linnebur, Director of Business Development of the Americas at Nevion, it was great having you, and we'll see you in the near future.
Yes, indeed. Thanks a lot.
Have a great day.